The second chapter unfolds with that narration, that Love Eater looks exactly like humans but they feed on love emotions. Those girls Oishi interacted with before are Love Eaters, and they want to eat his love emotions because he has never fallen in love before, so they want to feed on his emotions since they know his emotions haven't been used by anyone. Now, our main protagonist Oishi is being targeted by these girls. Even though he is scared of girls, he still keeps getting involved. Next, we see the professor yelling at Oishi, asking why he decided to go on a date with a Love Eater. At first, he acts like he cares too much for our boy, but then he smiles and asks him to let him record the moment his emotions get eaten for research purposes. Oishi gets angry at first but then exclaims that out of those 5 girls, one is the real one and she truly loves him. He has to find that girl. But when he went there to tell them to give him more time, they said something very unexpected. One of them tells Oishi to date all of them. This way, he will get to know them better and then he can respond to their confession. Oishi gets shocked and confused, but then the other girls also agree with what she's saying. They start deciding on which day Oishi should date them. They exclaim that there are 5 weekdays, from Monday to Friday, and since there are 5, Oishi should date each of them on each day. All of them agree with this decision. Meanwhile, Oishi is so confused that he can't even think straight, because he came there hoping they would get angry and leave him alone, but instead, they started playing rock, paper, scissors to decide who's going to be first and last. He explains all of this situation to the professor, and the professor responds that it's because those Love Eaters simply can't ignore such a beautiful meal, so they have to eat his love emotions. Oishi gets even more scared. The professor turns his chair and tells him to reveal how he felt when his emotions get eaten later, and if it's exciting to get his emotions devoured. Suddenly, Oishi loses his senses because he remembers that he doesn't know a single thing about dating or how it even works. He jumps on the professor and starts asking so many dating questions like what he should talk about on his first date and where they should go. This guy investigated what a date plan looks like and even prepared a whole document. He wrote so many things like what girls like and what they don't, where they prefer to go on a first date, and things like that. The professor tries to stop him, but Oishi wasn't in his senses and kept rambling. He exclaims that he is scared because he can't go on a date without full preparation. The professor responds that Oishi is the one who is scary, not those girls, but he still warns him that the risk is too great, because even if one of those girls eats his emotions, he won't fall in love ever again. Since only one of those 5 girls truly loves him, the risk is extremely dangerous. The professor continues, saying that if Oishi goes on a date with one of them and falls in love with her, but she turns out to be a Love Eater, then that will be the end. Oishi understands what his professor is saying, and he knows the danger, yet he still insists that he will find that one girl who truly loves him. He says he can't just back away, saying that he doesn't know if they really love him, even though girls are scary to him and he doesn't understand them. He'll still go on a date with them and face his fear in order to understand those girls. The professor listens to him overcoming his fear. Oishi exclaims that he will go on a date with each one of them until he finds the real girl. The professor looks at him for a moment and then says that Oishi is exactly like a chicken that jumps from the pond straight into the fire. Oishi gets confused, but then the professor advises him not to get eaten, and even if he is a chicken, then act like one and fly away. Finally, he tells Oishi to go and find the real girl who truly loves him. Next, we see Oishi standing in front of Kanae's. He thinks for a moment, questioning if she is the real girl or a Love Eater. Oishi approaches her and says, "Good morning." Kanae's responds with "Good afternoon." Oishi can't make eye contact with her, but he motivates himself to follow the plan. Suddenly, Kanae's holds his hand and suggests that they should get started. Oishi gets scared for a moment, but then they walk together. He narrates that there are 2 kinds of dating. The first is where 2 people meet each other for the first time and try to get to know each other. The second is when 2 people already know each other but they just want to grow their love even further. But the issue is that his date is not what he expected. He can't stop overthinking because his hands are sweating, but then suddenly, Kanae's asks where they should go. Oishi asks if she would like to eat some hamburgers, and Kanae's responds that hamburgers sound good. As she starts talking about devouring those hamburgers' meat, Oishi starts getting flashbacks of what the professor told him, because Kanae's just mentioned that she gets hungry thinking about it. Suddenly, he remembers that Love Eaters' tongues are split into 2. He recalls what the professor told him, that their tongue is the most noticeable feature, and he can check their tongue while they are eating or talking. Next, we see Oishi and Kanae's standing in front of the restaurant they wanted to go into. but it was closed. Oishi gets frustrated and knocks on the door, but then Kanaze checks her phone to find other restaurants. Suddenly, Oishi exclaims that he has a few other restaurants in mind that they can go to. Kanaze agrees with him, and they both hold hands again to head toward another restaurant. But every single place they go to is closed for some reason. Oishi is very embarrassed at this point because every restaurant they visited was closed. What makes it worse is the fact that Kanaze is still holding his hand, despite him making her walk so much, which is even more embarrassing. He narrates that even if Kanaze likes him, after all of this she might start hating him. But then suddenly, Kanaze spots an open restaurant. She points at it and they both stare at the building. However, the restaurant gives off a creepy vibe, and Oishi gets scared. He tries to change her mind, saying that they will look for another restaurant, but she refuses and says that if they want to eat something right in front of them, then they should eat it. She drags him into the restaurant, saying that Oishi wanted to eat hamburgers, so they should eat. When he enters the restaurant, he realizes that the interior is totally fine, and there are many customers inside. They both order hamburgers and Kanaze sits at the table. Oishi walks toward her table holding a tray of hamburgers and drinks, thinking that it's finally time to find out if Kanaze is a real human or not. But then suddenly, a tragedy happens. Two kids bump into him and he trips. He starts falling, and he is about to fall on Kanaze. But instead of trying to catch himself, he looks at her mouth to find out if she has a normal tongue or if she is a love eater. Time slows down as they both look at each other, but before he can find out if she is a love eater, the tray in his hand slips and his whole face gets buried under the burgers. He brutally falls in front of everyone, and the people around keep saying bad stuff about him and making fun of him, except Kanaze. She bends down and asks him if he is fine while he feels ashamed because everyone keeps laughing at him. Oishi apologizes, saying that he dragged her around the whole city, and in the end, she couldn't even eat a burger, that he ruined everything. Suddenly, she sits in front of him and kisses him. She eats the remaining burger that was stuck on his cheek and kisses him again. She seductively tells him that she just managed to eat a hamburger. Oishi gets scared and falls back, but then Kanaze tells him to cheer up or else she will bite again. Oishi cheers up and moves back a little more. Now we see them going back to their homes. Kanaze exclaims that she ate a lot, because the owner gave them so many burgers for some reason, and they were very good, so they ate all of them. She says they should come there again, while Oishi is still confused. He is thinking that his strategy failed to find out if Kanaze is a love eater or not because he didn't see her tongue. While he is wondering how he can confirm it, she suddenly starts laughing. Oishi asks what happened, and she smiles and tells him that she just had a flashback of when Oishi fell, and his face looked hilarious. She admits that she knows she shouldn't make fun of him, but it was too funny. Oishi narrates that he doesn't have to force her to show her tongue, but for now, having a good time with her and seeing her laugh is all he wanted. Suddenly, Kanaze exclaims that their station has arrived, meaning they both have to go to their homes after having a good and weird date. She exclaims that she started liking him even more after this date. Then suddenly, she asks him something very unexpected. She asks him what he thinks about her, and if he thought she might be a love eater. Oishi gets scared and shocked for a moment, and then she continues, saying that he was looking at her mouth the whole date, so she thinks Oishi might be suspicious of her. She walks a few steps forward and says that if Oishi is interested in finding out, then she should just reveal it. She sits right in front of him and exclaims that she will show him right now.
Please subscribe, like, and comment below if you have any thoughts or questions.